Lawyers Association of the Gambia, being an association that sets its sights on uplifting the legal status of women and children, saw the need to hold this forum to create better awareness of the public through journalists.
Nobody shall, when the law says shall, you open any piece of legislation, and it says every woman is entitled to respect the dignity of her person, and accordingly no woman shall be. It means there is no choice. You have no discretion to say, no, I did it because they did this. When it says shall, you cannot under any circumstance. When it says may, it gives you a limit. But when a legislation says shall, you go to court, you have no excuse.
This forum sensitized media practitioners on the two bills of sexual offenses and domestic violence as focal persons for news dissemination. Discussions during this session mainly centered on ways of containing these forms of violence, particularly against women, who, according to studies, account for 85% of victims in every 100.
And not women. You go to some places, men are secretaries, and not women. So when we talk about gender, we're talking about those differences that society says men should have, men should be, men should look like. It's society that defines it, it's culture that defines it. So gender is mainly a social or cultural, and so gender will also define our relationship.
Domestic violence continues to be a threat in Africa, especially to women who in most cases fall victims. Such forms of violence range from sexual, emotional, or even physical abuse. Commissioner Ibrahim Abba of the Gambia Police Force, in his opening statement, stated that violence against women is an issue affecting women globally.
May I emphasize the importance of multisectorial gender-based violence response model that promotes interdisciplinary and interagency cooperation and coordination across key players, including health services, psychosocial support, security, legal or justice sectors that this network embraces. It is significant to note, therefore, that the strengthening prevention and protection against gender-based violence using human rights statistics require referral mechanisms involving police, health entities, for referral of survivors of gender-based violence to the police and legal services after clinical management and psychosocial support, or vice versa.
Hadim Boch Barrow of One Stop Center Network, a body constituting virtually all the key players in gender-based violence, also did a presentation at the forum. Journalists and security personnel with the power to make huge difference in society are challenged to be more proactive in the dissemination of lessons drawn from this workshop for greater public awareness. For Grts News, I am Deiko Mademba.
The regional project on sustainable management of endemic ruminant livestock in West Africa, Project Gambia, recently gathered stakeholders for a day's consultative forum on its project capitalization process. The meeting provided participants the platform to share experiences. Rahibite was with them and she now reports.
And valorization strategy project of Project Gambia is designed in response to the present need to collect, organize and analyze information on the valuable knowledge accumulated during the implementation process. It will give project teams the necessary guidance for the identification, documentation and sharing of experiences that are relevant and innovative. The strategy will also enable the project parties to share and better communicate the successes and failures in key areas such as genetic improvement, capacity building, natural resource management, and valorization. The parties involved within Project B capitalization will allow the various stakeholders to make an introspective and critical analysis of the process in which they will take part to learn from the successes and failed experiences. The regional project on sustainable management of endemic ruminant livestock in West Africa, Project B, is being implemented since 2009 in 4 various countries, the Gambia, Guinea, Mali and Senegal, with the sole aim of contributing to the development of its institutional patrimony of knowledge and to the generation of tools for collaborative learning. The process of capitalization requires, when thought out, information flow and an effective mobilization process. The main objective of this capitalization process is an exercise that consists of extracting lessons from TED practices, not only to improve them, but also to inspire other actions. Rahibite, Grts News.
Well, time now to take our first break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Let's now shift our attention to the international scene. It is a very desperate situation in the Philippines, nearly a week now after Typhoon Haiyan hit. Frustration is mounting particularly in the city of Tacloban, where relief crews have started handing out vital supplies to vulnerable communities. CNN's Nick Payton-Walsh went to some of the hardest hit communities and he now reports.
South, away from Storm Yolanda's epicenter, to answer the question, how far had the destruction spread? It took about 40 kilometers before life breathed easier, but then the storm left other dangers. Police warned us of bandits ahead.
Civilian are being shot by, allegedly shot by these rebels.
Okay. And why are they doing this?
Maybe they are looking for food.
We turned back towards the heart of the chaos.
As we move closer towards the eye of the storm, signs of the devastation begin to grow, and while many of the trees here are left standing, you can see telegraph poles bent at a slight angle, a sign of the sheer ferocity of what passed through here.
They warned us again of bandits at this school, where the smallest are hungry and sick, and where Storm Yolanda was so fantastical in its power, it came straight from Hollywood's own apocalypse.
It's just like a movie, 2012, a Storm Yolanda.
Scared?
Yeah, super scary.
The basics of struggle, queues for what little gas remains. Trees are scattered like matchsticks as you approach the town of Palo. Its two church spires standing defiantly, although 800 people died here in this town of 60,000. Some here where waters surged, the winds tearing the back off this house and from their relatives across the river.
But we have an aunt from the one barangay which was flooded. So they're missing, and three grandchildren, including her.
Death has been more dignified in Pala than the bodies left on the streets of neighbouring Tacloban, even though life itself remains a shell of what it was. The mayor had mass graves dug fast and now gives free calls to loved ones, medicine, even bureaucracy.
Most of them died out of the waters. We have survived this far, so I think we can rebuild it.
The job of simply cleaning up so mammoth, healing seems a distant idea.
Children, of course, are the most vulnerable in areas ravaged by this in one town. They could be seen pleading with food at the side of the road. In Tacloban, the situation is so dire that even the director of an orphanage can get essential supplies, as CNN's Andrew Stevens reports.
City where everyone is asking for help, Erland Johannesson is a special case. He runs the Streetlights Orphanage here in Tacloban, and he's looking for food and water.
So we will last for 72 children and staff for the rest of the day. And then what? And right now everyone is looking. We're organized, everyone is divided into different departments.
But you're not seeing the organized relief that you need.
No, we're not.
Today he's responsible for 72 orphans. At the orphanage, the kids are unaware their food security is hanging by a thread. They do what kids do when they don't have to go to school. They play. Erland is also cheerleader-in-chief, keeping up morale. In fact, these kids are the happiest, most relaxed ones I've seen here, despite a terrifying experience just 5 days ago. On the night of the storm,
Alan took 72 children and led them up to the second floor to this balcony here, where the waves were starting to actually crash over the balcony, and got them onto this roof, where they stayed until the storm had blown through.